Going to the marinade for our lamb here. I used half teaspoon of cumin powder, not coriander powder, quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and just mixed it together and added a very little oil. Sometimes your lamb, if it is too young, it's greasy already, so you don't need that oil either. So I'm just going to cook it in one pot, and it's going to be a really quick dish with a pressure cooker. So start your stove on high heat, add about 3 tablespoons of oil. You have to be careful when you're adding oil for this dish because the lamb itself has some fat in it, so it gives out a lot of fat. It basically renders a lot of fat during the cookout process. So once the oil heats up, we'll add all these dry ingredients here, all the 4 ingredients, and let it sizzle for a second, and then go ahead and add all other ingredients, and it should be a quick recipe today. So let's wait for this to go up. Going to the marinade for our lamb here. I used half teaspoon of cumin powder, not coriander powder, quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and just mixed it together and added a very little oil. Sometimes your lamb, if it is too young, it's greasy already, so you don't need that oil either. So I'm just going to cook it in one pot, and it's going to be a really quick dish with a pressure cooker. So start your stove on high heat, add about 3 tablespoons of oil. You have to be careful when you're adding oil for this dish because the lamb itself has some fat in it, so it gives out a lot of fat. It basically renders a lot of fat during the cookout process. So once the oil heats up, we'll add all these dry ingredients here, all the 4 ingredients, and let it sizzle for a second, and then go ahead and add all other ingredients, and it should be a quick recipe today. So let's wait for this to go up. Oil is hot. I'm just gonna add all my dry ingredients here and let it sizzle for a couple seconds. And make sure you don't burn your ingredients here. Just add your green onion. So you notice I'm not adding any onion because this is almost 3 cups of green onion. That will be enough for this, and this cooks a lot faster than your traditional onion because the layers are super thin. The kitchen smells wonderful now with all the spices and the fresh onion here. I'm just going to add a little salt to speed up this process. And mind you, I did not add any salt to my marinade for the lamb. I'm going to go ahead and add my chopped ginger and garlic. This is finely chopped. Now let it cook for a second. Since I already added all my chili powder and turmeric to this mixture. I'm not going to add turmeric to this the saute that I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to let the ginger and garlic get added to fry up a little bit. And once it turns almost translucent, once my garlic turns translucent, I'll just go ahead and add my lamb. Yep, you can see my ginger and garlic here is kind of turned translucent. So I'm going to go ahead and add my marinated lamb. Make sure all your dry ingredients that are dropped in are scooped out properly. At this point, you can add finely chopped mint for additional flavor too. I'm gonna just give it a quick stir. Let all the ingredients come together. Since we are cooking this in a pressure cooker, make sure your the pieces of the lamb are a little thicker. About ½ inch cubes would be good. I'm going to let it saute for a little bit and then add some water to it and keep on cooking. Close the lid and cook it with 5 whistles and open and see how our curry comes up to be. You can hear the sizzle underneath the meat. And it releases all these beautiful oils from the meat and all the spices that we just added. I'm just cooking the spices out before I add water, so that won't taste like chili powder. I'm just trying to cook the spices that I added to the marinade out. Don't worry if the bottom sticks a little bit when you add the water. You can just scoop everything out. So here you can see all my meat is kind of cooked, and you can see that you won't find any dry spices around with the meat as you would have seen with the marinade. So this time I just go back to my marinade pot and add some water to it, about ½ cup of it or 3/4 cup, and just stir it so that all the spices that were sticking to the walls of this are all mixed up. So I'm just gonna add that water to the pan here. So 3/4 cup of water. Basically I'm creating a couple centimeters or a centimeter thick water layer at the bottom. As I said, I'm just going to scoop all the spices that are stuck to the bottom of the pan with this. You can replace water with any sweet wine if you wish. That would give the lamb curry a nutty flavor or the fruity flavor of the wine. So let it come up to a heat, and we'll close the lid and cook it till 5 whistles. If your lamb is really tender, go for 4 whistles, and or if you like the lamb to be really soft, go up to 6 whistles. And we'll come back when I open this dish up after 5 whistles of cooking. Alright, 5 whistles, the meat is perfectly cooked. You can see that by the pulled back meat. So on this, the bone here, the meat is kind of pulled back. That shows that the meat is perfectly cooked. At this point, add salt to your taste. The reason why I did not add salt throughout the process is the meat cooks really well if you don't add salt before. But add about salt for the taste, and let it cook for a couple seconds, and then turn it off, add some cilantro, and there you would have it. Perfectly cooked lamb curry. with some sauce. This goes well with just plain white rice or some pulao, or even with pita bread. So because it's basically a meat stew with some spices in it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.